This is a presentation that I gave at an O'Reilly conference called Where 2.0, and it was a conference about how Web 2.0 is more and more based on localization services and based on the fact that everything is geo-encoded. So we at France also developed a demo for that particular conference. And what I was showing in that conference was a typical, say, Tim Berners-Lee use case from his Scientific American paper about 8 years ago. So in this case, I use agents, personal agents, to invite some friends that like the same movies, and then once you find a movie, arrange a restaurant, and then use public transport to all arrive at the restaurant at the same time. And in this demo that I'm going to show you later, we use at least 10 data sources on the web, all in different formats. And then we use AllegroGraph with geospatial and temporal reasoning, some social network analysis, some RDFS reasoning, and Sparkle and Prolog. So let's look at the data sources that we used. In the first place, we had a partly scraped social network, but then we made some of it up. So in the whole demo, the only thing that's really simulated to some extent is the social network, where we had a bunch of people with the names and addresses, the movies they've seen, their preferences for food, etc., etc. Then the real thing we had was 24 different databases, all about transit in the Bay Area. So the BART, the Muni, the ferries, all the buses, etc., etc., all encoded in RDF, as well, of course, as the social network. Then we scraped Yelp to get data about restaurants, about the type of food, the type of eating that you could do there, the prices, what people thought about it. We used the IMDb to get movie information. We used Yellow Pages for several purposes, for example, to find movie theaters. And then finally we used a Yahoo website to find the times when movies would play. So we take all this together, and then we use that to do our demo. So let me go to the demo. So we start with that we need, of course, to find some people that will go out with us. And given that you are the person that's organizing this, you start out by thinking about, okay, will this be a romantic evening for only 2 people, or will this be a somewhat larger group? So say we choose 3 to 4 people, and then given that you plan the evening, you get to choose your type of movie. So, well, we have a whole bunch of types here. You could do horror, or, well, I like animation. And so I've got that, and then I will try to find some people that could go with me. So I click on this, and then I find 4 friends that might want to go with me and a movie that I could go to. So, for example, Coraline, a great movie if you haven't seen it. And so here's the friends. Now, Craig likes Kelly almost as much as I do, so I will disinvite him from this list. And then it's time to choose food. So we've got all the things from Yelp here. Let's just choose something. I know that Kelly likes Indian, so let's take Indian. And given that I have to pay for all of them, I'll probably choose something not too expensive. And now, given that I've done all of that, the agents will go out, and what they will try to do is, well, one, find a theater that we can go to, an Indian place that is relatively close to that restaurant, and then look in the public transport databases to find the start time for each of these people so that they all can arrive at the restaurant at the same time. So let me do this. It will take a few seconds. And so here we find on the left that we'll all go to the restaurant called Maharani, a wonderful, wonderful restaurant in the city. We go to this theater, and, well, again, we go to the movie Coraline. And then here are the start times and the end times for each of the people in the group. So let's click on my name, and we'll go to Google, and there we'll see using Google's public transport planner, how we got from my place to the place where we needed to go. I could take someone else, Kelly. She's living much closer by. She can just take the BART to get to the restaurant. Okay, so this is about all I wanted to show in the demo. It's of course still a little bit realistic because now I have to start inviting people, but you get the point of this demo. However, the most important thing was how is all this data represented and how do you work with it? So let me go into another demo, and that is Graph. Graph is the graphical user interface to AllegroGraph. And say, let's show you some type of queries that we do while doing all the intelligent stuff behind the demo. So I can go to the query view and I can select a query. Just for now, I could say take a simple Sparkle query. I open it. So here you say select restaurant and location where the restaurant has the name Maharani and where this restaurant is this particular location. And I do the query and I find Maharani at this particular location. I click on it and here I see some more information about the restaurant. For example, the types of food and again the geolocation. I can also look at the same thing in the graph view. So if here you see all the predicates for Maharani, I can select them, click OK, and then if I click on F, then here you got more of a graph view of the same data. Now let's do a more complicated query. So let me get rid of this one first. Let me do this again and do another query. And this is a more interesting query because in this query we combine normal RDF lookup with a geospatial lookup. So we go to this query here, and here we see the query where we try to find all the stations that are within walking distance of the restaurant Maharani. So we say find every restaurant and station where the restaurant has the name Maharani, where the restaurant is at a particular location, and then find me all the triples that have a location that is within 0.1 miles of this particular location that Maharani is in. And then find the give me the subject of the triple, which will be the station. And I evaluate that query, and I'll find all the restaurants and the stations, and let's create a visual graph from this result. And now we see here in this all the stations. So let's take just one and look at it in the tab view. So here we see Sutter and Farnese, and well, here you see the station. You see the transfer to other stations. It's a type of station. It's a type of service, etc., etc. Of course, I can click on anything in here. I get to another thing. I click here. I get to another one. I can go back to the graph view. You see that by clicking on these, I already got these connections. But anyway, let's take this one and see how this one relates to other stations in the neighborhood. So I just push the F button, and I probably have to select some more properties that I want to show. And I click OK, and then I click on F, and I get all the relationships to other stations in the neighborhood. Now this is a horribly small screen because we have to do this over GoToMeeting, so you probably didn't even see it move. But the point is that you can use the graph view then to find the relationships between all the different stations, and I could go on and on to find other places. And that actually concludes the demo. We've shown you in a web browser how the demo actually works, and then we've shown you in Graph how we represented the data and how you can do some queries over this data set and the type of queries we do to do the demo, and we showed you a little bit how Graph worked. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.